what it is, man. This is the Green Room. ED and Mr. Gemini on the mic in a warm-up to a show about nothing.
Oh, hey. Welcome to the Green Room. Oh, that's my turn. I'm supposed to talk. Yeah, so this is Mr. Gemini.
Yeah, Philly D. We are. I do. Yeah, we are sans Miss JD at the moment. This is actually a special recording session. We have Larry Hankin coming on, but he's only doing, I'm telling you, so we're doing the warm-up, the Green Room by ourselves.
Sans guest.
Yes, sans the guest and the fact checker. But yeah, no, we're here doing our thing, warming up. We're about to talk to Larry Hankin. He's coming on shortly, but until then, we are going to talk about Larry Hankin. We're going to talk so much shit about him. Which, yeah, people at home, if you don't know who Larry Hankin is, Mr. Heckles from Friends, Crazy Carl from Billy Madison. Dude, he was just in the movie Pain and Gain with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock. Yeah, he plays this weird, semi-odd and off priest that gets his ass kicked by The Rock. Yeah, he was also Old Joe in Breaking Bad and El Camino movie. I mean, he's done tons of stuff. I mean, me personally, first time I ever saw him was Armed and Dangerous with John Candy, Eugene Levy, and Meg Ryan. Like, that's a hilarious movie.
Dude, that's really an awesome career to be able to get to know all those different people on screen and off screen. You know, all these amazing actors. And like, I never, if you said Larry Hankin, like, I wouldn't automatically know who you're talking about. Like, I had to look it up. But then the minute I saw his photos, I was like, oh, I know who that is.
Well, yeah, and that's why
that's a pretty prolific career. I mean, really.
Well, so here's the thing is, as an actor, he's done 190 plus roles, right? Which, I mean, we've talked about Morgan Freeman being like, you know, the guy that's in everything. But if you look at Morgan Freeman, how many times he's had like acting roles, like, dude, they're very close. Yeah, as an actor, Morgan Freeman's only like 140-ish. Whereas freaking Larry Hankin is in 109, like almost 200.
Yeah, does that include voiceover stuff, or is that a separate category?
You know, I think as an actor, yeah, I want to say as an actor, it's probably voiceover work and everything. Yeah, I see narrator in the Mona Lisa myth. So that was, yeah, so Morgan Freeman's getting narration narrator and stuff like that. Yeah, so that all counts as a.
Well, he did narrator role. And actor in Shawshank.
Well, see, but I don't think
he narrated the whole thing.
No,
right?
He didn't narrate it, even though he did. It was his character was the narrator. So Morgan Freeman wasn't the narrator. He was Red, and Red was the narrator.
Right,
but
I'm saying he kind of filled both.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually, that's what do they credit him with? Let's find out. Why not? Oh, we're supposed to be talking about Larry Hankin.
That's okay. That's the nature of our conversation. It just kind of.
Yeah, they only gave him the credit as Red. Yeah, no narrator in that. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's
Ellis Boyd Redding.
Yeah. Quotations Red. That was his. But yeah, dude, no, fucking Larry Hankin, man. Like, this guy is ridiculous. I mean, I'm hoping he'll tell us the story, because our PR guy told me about it, where I gave you the same story, where he's such a method actor that he gets asked to play this role of a dog catcher, and, you know, the wardrobe brings him his costume. They're like, here's your dog catcher outfit. And he's like, I'm not wearing that shit. And, you know, the freaking wardrobe guy's
like, oh, great, now we're going to have trouble.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck's with this prima? And he's like, you know, and he's like, I'm going to take it to the director. He's like, cool, let's go. They go to the director, and the director's like, bro, why don't you want to wear this? He's like, I'm a dog catcher. Look at this shit. It's brand spanking shiny fucking new. I do not look like a dog catcher.
Right.
But luckily, at that time, it had just like rained that night or something, so he winds up taking his outfit or his costume, throws it into a puddle of mud and water and sloshes it around, and, you know, now all of a sudden he's got like this dirty ass dog catcher outfit, and he's like, now I'm ready.
Now I'm in character. There we go.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, that to me, that's an attestament.
I wouldn't wear that. That's not, yeah.
Right. I mean, That's the level of
Or if I
method
wore
acting.
it wouldn't look like that if I was a dog catcher. That's the point.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what's super dope.
It's a lie.
But yeah, here you go. Pain and Gain as Pasture Randy. Wow, that was 2013. That's how old that movie. Dude, I thought that shit just came out not that long ago. Wow, it's like fucking almost 10 years old. Holy shit. Yeah, I literally thought that was a movie that just came out in like the past couple of years, but oh well.
I hadn't even heard of some of these.
Well, but I mean, a lot of this is like TV stuff. Yeah, look, he's getting like
Old stoner dude, nice on CSI.
where's old stoner dude named Zapata Childs. That's fucking hilarious. And he had 2 episodes. That's pretty dope. Oh, maybe that's what, you know what it was? He had one episode is old stoner dude, and then another episode is Zapata Childs. That's
We
fucking
had 2
hilarious.
different.
But yeah, Breaking Bad, 2 episodes is Old Joe. Now, where's El Camino? Yeah, dude, El Camino 2019 is Old Joe. There you go.
So that's just one. Or no,
Well, yeah, because that's a movie.
oh no, yeah, okay.
So it's not a
That whole
recurring TV role.
That's right. El
It's
Camino
now-
was a movie.
Yeah, because it was the after. It was the sequel to the show. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get picked up for like. I mean, maybe they will at some point, but Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I don't think I finished that one yet.
What's that? Better Call Saul? It's still running.
No, I mean, but I'm not even close to caught up. Not even close.
I think I am up. I think I even caught the last. Yeah, so I think I'm up to date on it. But yeah, dude, Billy Madison. Look at these freaking Star Trek. I mean, George Carlin show.
It's Pat. Nice.
Yeah, you don't remember that? It's Pat, the ambiguous from Saturday Night Live. It's Pat.
Oh yeah, I remember it. I remember it's Pat. Yeah,
Yeah,
94, man.
postal supervisor.
Sometimes Jones.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Married with Children. Mad About You. Yeah, he was in Seinfeld. Dude, I mean, his list goes on, and this is just as acting. You know what I mean? Like, because there's also, yeah, dude. He was one of the officers.
That's the Officer Balzac was the one I was trying to tell you
Officer
about.
Balzac.
Where he's on. It's this quick thing where he's on the phone when the mom calls him, all freaked out, and they want to send like a patrol car by.
Yeah.
And he's eating a glazed donut, and like completely unbeknownst to him, it falls on the mic of the telephone that he's on. And it happened to be the first take that went well for everyone else in the film crew.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he said there was like 10 other takes that did before that, where there was like the camera hit a bump and you could see it, or there was a problem with the sound or something else. And it said that was the first take that actually went without a hitch. And he said the minute the director called cut, everybody just bust out laughing.
Because of the donut, and he didn't know.
And he had no idea, which makes it gold. You know what I mean?
He's like looking around. He's like, "What? What happened? I passed out. I blacked out. What's high score mean? Is that bad?"
Because had he noticed that had happened, it would have felt a whole lot different.
Yeah,
But the fact that the character didn't even realize.
Look at his name in Armed and Dangerous. Kokolovich.
Kokolovich,
Yeah, I guess that's
like the soft drink.
Yeah, I don't know. that's I see what you did there. That's pretty good. But yeah, dude, the Newhart. I mean, freaking George Burns Comedy Week. I mean, this guy's been on so much stuff.
Mr. Schneebel.
But I mean, and dude, this is just dude, Dr. Dracula. Oh, that's what's up.
Dr. Acula.
Dude, Dr. Acula. Oh, yeah, dude, WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh my God, that's
You know what I mean?
Holy crap!
You do fucking Heart to Heart.
I remember watching that.
Dude, he was in the movie Annie. Dude, was that the dog catcher guy?
Oh, I was watching that short, Sally's Diner.
I think that was him in wow. Hold on, this is what I gotta look up here.
So this is how we can totally get on. This isn't even a tangent, but
Well, this is why we don't look shit up, man.
this is why we don't look stuff up, because we get like hung up and not going down a rabbit hole. But it is a Hankin rabbit hole, so that's okay.
Dude, I think it was Annie when he played the dog catcher. That's what these, you know what I mean? Like, holy crap, that story, maybe that was for the fucking production of Annie.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to asking him though. That's gonna be dope. Fuck yeah, we'll have to remember that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, there you go. He was in The Jerk. Which, if you remember, I told you,
Uncredited too.
Carl Gottlieb is the writer of The Jerk, and him and Larry Hankin were college roommates. So, I mean, he's done stuff with him other than, just being his roommate. But yeah, dude, I mean, I would love to talk to that guy too, because, I mean, he was the writer of freaking Dr. Detroit, and that's some Dan Aykroyd shit. I love the crap out of that. But yeah, dude, look at this. He's been acting since 1966. That's crazy.
Bro.
Oh, what do we got here? Writer. As a writer, let's see, some TV stuff, some shorts.
Sometimes Jones and the magical credit card, or the magic credit card.
Sometime Jones and the Magic Credit Card. That's a crazy fucking name.
But Sally's Diner, I think that's the character's name, is Sometimes Jones.
I don't fucking know.
It's some short. I was just like, I happened to catch it.
He's been doing a lot of production work since 2000s. Revenge of the Ring thing, My Uncle Emmett. Yeah, dude, he was
that he produced, okay.
Yeah, because of I was going through the list with this guy. There's a movie, How to Grow Your Own, that I had to look into. Mm-hmm. It's basically these two different dudes that live in a housing complex out in Cali, and the one's like monster grower, and the other one's like, he's good at it. And they all of a sudden decide to have a grow off to see who's got better weed than the other one. Well, I go to just look it up and get a trailer or something just to, get some behind on it. And freaking the thing that pops up is Larry Hankin sitting with a bong in his lap, just ripping fucking hits. And I was just like, all right, I see where this movie's fucking going. Which was funny because it was actually done. The premise behind it is this guy was starting a documentary. And then all of a sudden it just turns into he's now documenting his guy and this other guy in the complex having a grow off and a smoke off. Yeah, and fucking Larry Hankin's just in there, all mixed in as one of the neighbors. I thought that was dude, it looked pretty good. I was gonna have to watch that shit, but yeah, man, he's got tons and tons of work, bro. I'm excited to talk to him because the different people that he's worked with, and you know what I mean. Because I want to know. I want to know what it is because like you said, you brought up that one thing where he was on Friends for 5 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, when you hit that 6th role, you now are no longer...
You're recurring.
Yeah, you're no longer just a single
After
guest.
the
You're
5th,
now a recurring. And so that instead of having him come on as a recurring guest, they killed him.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, that's when Mr. Heckles died.
Legally, you're required to give a substantial bump in salary at that point. Just going from the 5th to the 6th episode it changes your title to recurring character. So,
well, as well as if you think about it, Friends was one of those shows that they were one of the first where everybody was getting paid $1 million an episode. You're talking about $6 million an episode just for the main cast.
The other interesting thing that he brought up, and I said that he was on for 5 episodes, but he said in between takes, the whole Friends cast would just go huddle up together. And kind of they'd go over there somewhere and just huddle up together. So he wasn't even involved in any of the offset stuff.
Dude, that's fucked.
So that's, and it is what it is. They kind of got their clique going. That's the family that does
you gotta
the program.
Well, so here's the thing is bro, when it's like this and you're doing this, you're not talking, you're talking, and so it's picking up the room noise too. That's
right.
Why I say you got to keep you got to keep that shit in your mouth.
Oh, fine. So we done looking stuff up now?
At the moment I am. I don't, you know what I mean? I am prepared. I'm ready to go. I want to talk with fucking Larry Hankin.
Right?
What's a question you want to ask him? What's what do you got? What do you got?
Yeah, I don't even know.
I know I've been turning hard over there, bro.
I've been trying to think about it for the past 48 hours, and I'm I really don't. And we don't tend to prepare for anything. I don't. I like to fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, that's why I said I want to have him tell the story of the dog catcher as well as now I'm kind of curious. I think it might be for Annie, so I want to be yo, bro, I heard this story.
But my biggest thing is too, I don't necessarily, because of the way the show runs, I don't necessarily just want to ask questions about Larry Hankin.
Oh, of course
not
not.
the entire time. Like it's got to be like just a real open conversation. Like,
Absolutely.
that we could be talking about anything.
But I still want to know if Annie was that movie.
But I have a feeling this is probably going to be one of our first guests that's probably much more capable of controlling the conversation all on his own.
What do you mean by that?
Because I've watched a couple and doing my homework for Larry. I've been watching some of his more recent interviews.
Right.
And he's a great storyteller. I mean, of course he is. You know, he's got all those different chops that have to do with acting and creating roles and producing and
Right.
you know, so that's I haven't formulated a question around all this yet. That's the problem. Like trying to figure out I don't want to ask him the stereotypical questions.
What was it like being Mr. Heckles?
Yeah,
Who
like-
fucking cares, bro?
Like it was a part I got paid for. Like it wasn't, you know, to me, I think at the end of the day, it's like, I love my craft, but you know, I put on that suit, I take it off, I get paid for it. That's at the end of the day that the fact that I can make a living out of this, you know, I think that's enough. But I don't think he really, and that's the impression I get, is that I don't think he's like super into himself. He's just a dude. Like he just kind of comes off that way. Like he's just a dude.
Yeah, it just so happens to be a methodical actor. Like, dude, that's what I'm saying. I mean, me personally, I wanna dive into that kind of an aspect. Like, you know, because I mean, everybody, those who are method actors have their own process, and I'm curious as to what his is, as well as why it is that he chooses to do it in this fashion. Because I mean, very few actors are like, I'm going all in. You know, I mean, I think that's where you start getting into like Heath Ledger when he did the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix when he did the Joker. I mean, like these are roles where it's you just gotta go all in or don't do it.
I mean,
But he does that on every freaking role, though.
There's a number of actors that I would definitely consider deep into method acting to the point where, I mean, they're no longer their own selves at all.
Yeah, like Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, cats like that. Like they're all supposed to be just that delved deep into the character that, I mean, they for like months they walk around being that person, and you don't get to talk. It's like, nope, that's just all they are.
Seeing Jack as a murderer, just that was like one of the scariest things.
You mean in The Shining?
Yeah.
Here's Johnny. Yeah, right.
That was really creepy.
Yeah, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
One of the things about Jack Nicholson that I've always in my mind like picked on though is just it's always the character as Jack Nicholson. To me, like he's always kind of it's so much him. Like where I've seen other actors that can put on a different persona and it looks like a different person. You know what I mean? It's almost like incognito. Whereas like everything that Jack plays, he's playing that character as Jack Nicholson.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way I've always viewed it. And maybe I haven't seen enough of his roles.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like Vince Vaughn. You know, he's just the on.
I mean, I think Marlon Brando probably would be one of the older method actors too. I think that jumped so deep into a role that I mean, you got him. Sweat was it Apocalypse Now? Was that the one I'm thinking of?
That's the one where he was like super fat and gross and hiding out in the caves in the mountains.
Yeah, he had
all sweaty.
he had like a whole tribe of pygmies working for him.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and there was like, didn't he have like dead bodies on pikes out front and all kinds of weird, twisted? Like he went AWOL from the military, and it was their job to go in and find him,
basically,
and stop him.
Yeah, well, because they thought he was a potential risk, I think, for.
But that character, I mean, you walk in there and like he's sick and he's like sweating profusely, and it's like, I mean, there's some roles that you can watch where it's hardly believable, but you're just kind of going through the lines. But that was one where he delivers a line and it might be, I don't know, 8 words long, but it takes him like 30 seconds to get it out. Because it's like he's pulling you into this character of his.
I get that.
You know, that scene when they go to confront him in his villa in this pygmy village, you know, and the dark room and the whole setting that they had. I mean, you were swallowed into that character for the moment that he was on screen.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with that idea. I mean, especially with the idea, like you're saying.
And of course, he was also the Godfather. So, oh wait, and the Wild One, the motorcycle movie from way back in the day, black and white.
Something like that.
I think it was called The Wild One. Marlon Brando. So what are you doing, man?
I'm dealing with crap, unfortunately.
There's crap to be dealt with.
Yeah, of course, always.
Anything
Well, dude, when you do 85 jobs, man, you know what I mean? People are always trying to get a hold of you. And
do you need to talk?
I'll deal with that in a bit. It's whatever. I'm just irritated by it because... whatever. Anyways, dude, this is the green room. We're supposed to be chilling the fuck out.
The whole mood in the room just dropped for a second.
Yeah, because I just sometimes work is work, and that fucking sucks. It irritates the ever living crap out of me because I work my butt off to feel like I don't work. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean that's the ironic statement in it, but that's the truth though. Is I do everything I can for focus and, you know, setting goals and habits and all of that. I mean, so whether I'm joking or being serious, all of it is working towards working as hard as I can to not have to work. I mean, that's you know, I mean, that's the irony of life. But so sometimes when work feels like work, it's like, bro, there's a reason why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them, and you're throwing a wrench into my works right now. Like, this is not cool, bro. And when it happens on a continuous basis, it's like, dude, now what?
There's no I in team.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. The team is fucking it up.
Dropping the ball, man.
Well, yeah, I bust my hump to put things in place and get things done, and then it seems like every week or every other week, it's like, oh yeah, this is happening, or this is, and it's just like, what the F? When you tell me this is the schedule and this is what I have to work around, and I do that, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, it's like this. It's like, you need to give me a fucking heads up. Can you not give me like, hey, if you're aware of this 2 days ago, couldn't you just quick little note, hey, by the way, maybe get this, how this is going to be.
Yeah, we need to have some of this discussion off air. I think I can feel a lot of.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm at a place where like
feel a lot of pent up energy.
Well, and again, when I've, you know, especially us at this point, we've been so focused on moving forward and growing what we're doing and doing all these other things that when you have these things that are supposed to already be in place and a part of that, and it feels like they're starting to bring you down, it's like, dude, why is everything else moving me forward and this is being a pain in my ass?
Don't bring me down.
Exactly. So it's almost self-defeating because it's like, yo, what the F, you know? Because then it's like, you know, you're at a place, or at least for me, I'm at a place where it's like, do I keep going in this fashion, or do I just say fuck all that and then push this other stuff even harder, you know? Like, that's what I'm like.
But it was Dr. Philly D.
Yeah, that was last night. Which, I mean, I think is hilarious because I wasn't like, you know, and how does that make you feel? I wasn't doing any of that kind of shit. It's just
no, but I mean, it was
heartfelt.
It was obvious that both of us were concerned about that. Except, you know, I didn't have the Philly in my name to make that joke funny. But that was a fun interview fun conversation last night. I hate to call any of these interviews, but
yeah, agreed.
It's just a guest.
Yeah, whenever I'm communicating with the guests and whatever else, I always try to use that kind of language where it's like conversation. We're looking forward to talking with you.
I never want it to be, and not to say that I won't at some point write down a question just so I make sure I have it on topic, but I always want it to more come off conversational. So I'd rather not be the type to read off a list of questions. Like, okay, next. Like, because I could ask one question and it could spark a 20-minute convo.
I mean, I'm kind of hoping for that.
Like, I'm not going to step over that by asking another question.
Yeah. I mean, that's
because you might end up, you listen long enough, you might get the other answers automatically.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we were talking about that one time, and the example we used is there was the interviewer, and he's just like, so in 1984, when you did this movie, how was that like? And he's just like, well, you know, and he's like, all right, so in you're just like, what, are we not going to discuss what I just Just gonna go right next. Okay, next question. Let's go for it. And he's just so robotic that he's rigid and structured and focused on. I gotta ask these questions. I gotta ask these questions. And he's so into doing that
that
it's
wasn't
like
what-
you weren't even a part of the moment, man.
That wasn't a Jordan Peterson interview, was it?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to remember who that was, but I remember I pointed it out to you and I was like, dude, you got to watch this. I was like, it's painful. It's literally painful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
And
like
you
it
can
was.
see like, I can't remember the guy that was being interviewed now,
I
but
want to say somebody who was a little bit more high profile. So I mean, like a Jordan Peterson type, as far as like stature, not so much like
but you could tell the person that was being asked the questions was trying hard to carry the conversation, to make it more conversational, to try and bring people in. And like he was just ticking off his questions.
And number
like,
3,
he didn't care. He just wanted to get his next question out so he could get off stage. He looked very uncomfortable.
yeah. What I think, didn't you say he just got tossed into it or something too? Like, here, you got to do this. What? I know. Okay. Number 1. And he's just like sweat pouring off him like Niagara Falls.
Grabbing the glass of water every 2 seconds.
I know, that's when my drinking problem started. Splash right on his face. Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I never wanted to be like an interview. I never wanted to be like
I never wanted to feel like
forced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, not to say that I wouldn't write down topics or questions or general ideas to
Fuck yeah.
delve into just as reminders for myself. But I never wanted to be like a series of questions. Like I want to talk to somebody. Like it's like if you meet somebody out in the street, like you're not going to interview them. You're going to talk to them.
Well, see, but here, all right, so here's the thing.
Talk to them.
Here's the thing, though, is I feel as though my interview style is that very personal nature where it doesn't feel like an interview. Because, I mean, to me, terminology-wise, we're always presenting, whenever we're talking as an individual, as soon as we put it to somebody else, I mean, shit, even when we talk to ourselves, we're still presenting a certain image or idea. So we're always presenting, which means that we're having a presentation. Well, once it gets to you and a whole nother person, it's like now you need to have that. There has to be like a connection to it or something. So otherwise, you're just talking, to the fucking air. It's like you're speaking to a brick wall and it doesn't do anything for you. So you have to have that personal. So that's why I'm like, I don't like to do interview per se, but to me a good interview is when you just have that conversation. It just rolls, it just happens. So whether you're asking a question or making a statement, it gets the conversation going.
Like, and I always had problems like I never did a lot of interviews for jobs.
I've had my fair share
because I worked for the same company for so long. Like I kind of forgot how to interview, but I figured out along the way that the purpose of it, if you flip yourself to the other person's perspective, the purpose of it is to get to know you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
how can I get to know you and kind of guess a little bit about your work ethic without asking you certain questions? But
well, yeah, a
good interview should not feel like work.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why a lot of interviewers now typically ask situational questions. They put you into almost like a moral quandary within a work, setup that it's like, hey, how are you going to perform ethically as well as, your overall output? So
and then the open-ended.
what's going to be your quality and quantity in this situation?
Broad-based, open-ended questions where it
allows for a lot of speculation. And
I think one of my favorites was, and it's such a stumper if you're not prepared for it, but where an interviewer will ask, tell me about a time when something happened and something went wrong in the process and you had to find a way around
and how did you handle it?
Solving it, and how did you handle it? And I think that's become a very standardized question now.
So I mean,
or what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths? I always love that one.
Dude, honestly,
setup question.
I think that's like the dumbest question in the world.
But it's a commonly asked question. But like,
so me as an interviewer, so when interviewing people for positions within a company that I'm either running or owning or whatever, having that opportunity to have a multitude of those, I usually asked more not so much like personal questions in the sense of just like, oh, what is your belief in? And, you know, so it's more of just like, so, you know, what do you do for fun? What do you know, when you're not working, like what's something that you're into? Like, do you have any hobbies? Like I actually try to get to know them on that deeper level, because then if, you know, I've always been a firm believer as a teacher, if we can find that thing that makes that connection with each individual.
What is it that drives you?
Then we can curtail the information or what we're doing, you know, knowledge experience wise, so that you ingest it better as well as enjoy it more.
Well, no, that's a common question that I've heard at almost any, like, why did you come to us? You know,
Dude, I've asked that question.
Somebody's applying to a business and it's like, what is it that brought you here?
Yeah, I like to ask, you know, how did you find out about us? Or, you know, what is it about us that, you know, and usually one of my lead-ins is like, did you do your homework and check into us before you came in today?
Like, what do you know? Yeah.
Well, because a lot of the times people are just going to be like dead deer eye right in the, and be like, oh, like they have no, because they didn't. And it's like, hey, dude, there's no wrong answers here. As long as you give me the honest, you know, answer to the question I'm giving you that you feel like, hey, yeah, that's,
you know, a friend of mine told me about this place and I've been coming by a couple weeks to check it out, and I really like the mood, I like the setting, that's what you're looking for. Like just some kind of, it doesn't have to be like, do you know our whole history or do you know our line of beers? It's like that can come with time, but like,
well, so
you want to know that there's an interest in potential.
Well, not, you know, and that's the thing is, I want you to have skin in the game. I want you to feel personally connected to it. But I mean, that's why. So my questions are usually, did you bring a resume with you? Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, hey, no worries. I can just because I'm trying to get, you know, I want to make sure I have your correct information. Let me pull it up real quick.
Something I can put in a file.
Well, yeah. Because 9 times out of 10, those who are just like, oh, absolutely, here you go, and they hand you another resume ready to rock. It's like, oh, you came prepared and you're taking this serious. That's a huge indicator for me, right? And that's like first fucking question.
And even if I don't have, I mean, these days, and it's not uncommon, but I wouldn't necessarily have a paper copy. I'd be like, give me your email address. I'll send it to you right now.
Well, but that's the thing is,
you know, at least be prepared for that.
If the individual was either here it is, or they're like, oh, I don't have it in paper. I don't believe in that. But yeah, if you need, I can re-email it right now.
Not that I don't believe in it, but like I can carry it with me always. It's the technological age, you know. I don't.
Well, again, so
but it is nice to have a paper copy too.
If they're prepared and able to deal with that situation, that says a lot. So whether you hand it to me in paper or it's on your freaking phone, or if you're prepared for that. Dude, we're good to go already. Like, okay, you're taking this serious. You know, that to me is like, because I mean, again, 9 times out of 10, when they did, like, those were some dope
at least that gives me something
I can almost always hired them.
Something I can tack my notes onto.
Well, and I mean, honestly, yeah, because that was my thing is I could care less whether or not you had it, because I'm very organized. I had that individual's resume ready to be pulled up. Like it was already prompted and ready to go in my phone.
It was kind of leading into seeing what's the reaction.
Yeah. Well, that's the test. It's not the question. It's what the question implies. Are you prepared and are you ready to do this? Because I need people that are going to be on point at all times, because it gets fucking hectic in a restaurant.
Right.
You're going to have people yelling at you from the kitchen, from behind the bar, your customers. They're not like, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, they're not yelling at you, but they're going to be like, hey, I need to get, and oh, you got, and there's going to be a lot of direction and knowledge coming at you, and you need to be able to, you know, decipher and delineate through all of that. So, you know, if you have to delegate some of it, do it yourself, like you have to be able to think on the fly, and constantly, your entire shift, you're going to be on your toes, running and doing. Like we ran a tight ship, and it's like I need somebody who can handle their shit. So I would ask questions that basically told me, it's like, how serious are you about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, you know, then I would just lead into all of just trying to get to know them as personal as possible, to the point where most of them are usually whipping their phone out and throwing me pictures like, oh yeah, check this out. Well, like last weekend, I mean, that's how my one guy, Colin, he came to me and was like, yeah, I want to be a bartender. I want to be, you know, behind the bar, making the money. And it's like, you're a big dude. Like nothing against you as your size, but behind this bar, you're going to take up the bar, bro. And, you know, and he's not like fat. He's a big dude.
He's big boned.
Yeah, he's wide on all sides. I mean, he's very agile. I mean, he's now a chef, which that was the thing, is in the middle of an interview, we're getting to know each other more, and he started showing me all these food porn pictures of shit that he's been cooking.
Food porn.
Well, it's just him taking sexy ass pictures of his food in his kitchen that he's like so proud of making.
Oh, you can cook.
Well, and that's what, no, I didn't even say, oh, you can cook. I was just like, he brought it up himself. It wasn't until he started showing me the pictures that all of a sudden I was like, bro, you are a cook. He's like, oh, no. I'm like, no, bro. I was like, people don't take pictures of their food over and over and over again that they made unless they're a fucking cook. I was like, you belong in a kitchen, and this is how we're going to start you. And I mean, you know, he came in, and now he's actually working at the other location. And I mean, he's doing pretty well for himself because he originally was supposed to be one of my managers. So I was prepping him in all these different aspects, getting him to learn the positions and, you know, how all that kind of works together because he's kind of fresh to the industry. But he had enough actual experience in life that he knew what it was to do these things, and he just had to correlate that information over to being in the restaurant specifically.
By title, does that make him head chef? I mean, is he responsible for ordering and?
Currently, yes. He's kitchen manager and head chef.
Okay.
So he is.
So he decides what's on the menu. If he has to make changes last minute, like this is all him. So
basically, yeah, as well as manage
even if
the
somebody's
staff
covering the kitchen for him, they would have to call him like, oh my God, we ran out of this. What do I do?
If they didn't know already, which I mean, he runs a pretty tight ship, so they should be aware. Yeah, but that's the thing is when you get individuals like him and you put them through their paces very easily, dude, you can just within 2 or 3 questions interviewing somebody, you can tell if they're for real or not.
Yeah, your
bullshit meter should be on point, you know.
Well, and can you be creative? Can you think on your feet? Can you know?
Okay, you're right because you have to, especially in.
Well, we're out of fries. There's nothing you can do. We out of potatoes. There's no potatoes. You can't cut anything. All right, offer them potato chips. Say I'm sorry. This is or offer something else on the menu that's light fare. You know, like but all those kind of things. Like you have to adapt. You know, because some people aren't as adaptable as others.
Dude, I just had a thought, bro. What if when we're recording, we flip to this side so that we're basically like looking straight at it, and because then we can just side by side and just.
That's what I was saying, but wouldn't that be weird?
Well, not really, because we'd be sitting on. People at home are like, "What are they talking about?" So the table is.
I wouldn't mind trying this stand out instead of the arm to see.
Well, but I mean, that's the thing is like you could technically, you know what I mean? Like I can still get over here. And then now I'm like looking this way because if we're talking about recording and everything, because then if you're
because then we'll be
yeah. So then it's like hey da, and then we can just kind of like yeah, and you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying because right now it doesn't matter because we're not recording video. So yeah, well, people at home we're discussing positioning around our hexagonal shaped interviewing table.
I mean that's what I was saying with Christian. That's why I brought it up because we have somebody that's going to be looking at us from this direction. So.
Yeah.
You know, would it be weird to not face each other or? And I think we just decided to do our normal thing, but it did end up kind of being to the side a bit because.
Well, I mean, I'm usually like this way anyway.
But that's where I think
we're talking about our positions as far as facing our. I know people at home are like, "What the fuck is this?" We're so sorry. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening to our ramblings.
Are we doing video for this?
With Larry, I'm hoping so. I'm gonna because as of now, he's been prepped for the idea that it's only audio, and he's made note of that. He's like, I still like making it a video call because I want to see you as we talk. I'm like, fucking A, right? That's what we do, bro. But,
so he hasn't been asked like, do you mind if we actually do broadcast video with this?
Correct. So when he comes on, part of our pre-prep for as we're getting ready to do, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, would you be cool with us recording the video on this? I was like, we recently just stepped into it. This is where we're at. You'll literally be, number 2. Who does number 2 work for? You'll literally be, the second person, but I've already had a couple of trial runs and it's looking really good. I'm really happy with how it comes out. So I'm pretty sure at that point, because I've seen a few of his interviews where it's just straight up Zoom shit, just like we're doing, where you just it's gallery and you can see all the different positions. But I'm gonna automate ours a little bit more so we can like.
You're gonna automate our positions.
Yes. Oh, so I can put it in the right places. But yeah, so that I can modify what we're being focused on visually.
You're trying to insert it.
I mean, sometimes you'll have to. Might just slip it right in there.
I might do that.
Might bring it up. Might bring it down. Might put it.
This table's wood on wood.
Dude, it's because you see. Stop fucking with shit, bro. God damn it! Swear to God.
Oh. All right, I know this is green room. I'm allowed to I gotta go pee.
Well, dude, then I gotta just sit here and talk to myself. This is at that point, PSA to our fans. We appreciate you so much. The fact that you even take the time to listen to these pre-shows, because honestly, we try to get the guests on in the green room because then you get that sneak peek where we get to have those like really cool, awesome stories as we're like drinking beers and whatever else. And it's, when we can't, we still want to have it for the purpose of promoting, because, hey, we want to say thank you to our guests for coming on. Because crying out loud, we're about to have Larry Hankin on. Like literally in like 30 minutes, he's going to be logged on. We're going to be having a conversation with him. It's going to be ridiculous. I can't even imagine how awesome it's going to be. My freaking kid's excited. She's like amped the fact that I'm talking to Mr. Heckles over here, and and I'm trying to talk to him about all the other stuff as well. As apparently he tells like dope stories. So I'm really amped for that. But yeah, again, fam, we appreciate you for listening to this, understanding that this is just us chopping it up, and we try to, have those guests to do it. And, what's that?
That's what we do. We just ramble on.
No, we incessantly ramble.
We incessantly ramble. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what we do as we
Better get
self-aggrandize
correct
about ourselves.
Yes.
See, but are we like, if I'm aggrandizing you, is that like aggrandizing adjacent? And if you're doing
That's other aggrandizement.
So if you're doing me and I'm doing you, are we doing each other? Well, fox together. But yeah, no, seriously, man. Like I do appreciate our fans hard as shit. We've been at this for 2 fucking years now, bro. We're starting
Something
to do.
think about.
Well, we're starting to do video. We got a fucking fact checker. We are at this point. The first time we're literally booked with guests for the next 2 months.
Dude, that's sweet. And I've told you
still
already.
More coming, bro.
I had been telling you leading up to this that I want to pull in more people. Like, I don't care who they are.
Dude, I'm excited. So next week we got Dakota Harris coming on. He's super dope. He has his own channel called Harry's Been Drinking Again podcast. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of, I think, like underground rappers and stuff, which, we're into that shit. So fuck yeah. But he's also, he just doesn't give a fuck. He's going to tell you who he is, what he thinks, and, give 0 Fs on that. So I'm excited for that because he'll be on our show. But here's the kicker with him is he runs a live broadcast. Even better is he runs until you're done, which could be hours. And I'm like, bro, that's how we used to roll. Like, we've had many, because think about it. Every night we record, it's a 3-hour minimum set.
Yeah.
Granted, it's broken up into 2 different shows, but dude, it used to be where we would ramble for fucking hour and a half, be like, all right, cool, I gotta pee, let's take a break. And fucking, take our break and then get right back at it and go for like another 2.5 hours. We could literally record 4 hours of conversation in one sitting. And that was common for us.
I think I kind of liked giving it a smaller window though.
I like the consistency and structure.
Because you can't do that all the time and be able to hold a conversation for that long and have it be nuanced enough to be interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, see, that's why, I still like the idea of us being able to, just like this, sit around a table and have those conversations. That's why, having Green Room means that if all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, we just went for 3 hours and it's like, hey guys, we still have another show to record. Like, oh fuck, we should take a break and go do that. Mm. I like that idea because then I'm telling you, stays structured. It stays, radio edit capable. Gives you that 1 hour listening, which I think, for podcast wise, like that's the perfect, timing as far as, listening. But that's the thing is, giving that extra content, giving you this behind the scenes look. Because dude, this is us literally just chopping it up, whether it's us or, with JD or any of our guests, like it's just actual conversation.
I think the video aspect is going to give us a lot more opportunity, I think, for those, the shorts, because I think that's
agreed.
The shorts are pretty amazing in themselves because they're generally, I don't know what the limit is, like how many minutes, like the maximum sized short YouTube video is, but it's kind of built on that same like TikTok type platform where it's, you just scroll through and.
I honestly, I think that's just how you put it, like how you descript it, like what box you mark it as for the video.
Well, no, but if I'm subscribed to a channel that also has shorts, they'll automatically come up as suggested titles for me. And
correct, but that's what I'm saying.
I think they tend to get a lot more hits because, and then that's what we were talking about
typically
before.
Shorter
is that most people don't have the attention span to hold on for. What was that?
Oh, I thought I heard somebody pop on. I was just like, JD. No. Yeah, but it's a shorter attention span, which I mean, let's be honest, that is us.
You're more likely to get a lot more
hits.
Like you'll get a bump, I think, in viewership.
Massive. Well, because that's the thing is even if the clips,
I mean, even if it's a show, like I really enjoyed actually listening to some of the stuff from Dano Art that I was showing you about.
Right.
And kind of the same format that we run. Like they were talking about getting into this whole video production, doing the art stuff, the shorts with the whiteboard art that he does.
Right.
And they were just talking. Like it was a very open format. And I was like, that's why I was kind of saying, I was like, dude, we got to get these guys on. But like, I don't necessarily always have the time. Like I might look at a video and go, oh, I don't have time to listen to 45 minutes, so I think that would open up a whole new avenue, being able to doing video, being able to take shorter cuts.
Agree. Well, because that's the thing is, so if I put out the entire episode, like literally in its entirety from start to finish, unedited, which I mean, that's what we do here, but took that same conversation and chopped up sections of it and put those out as shorts. Well, now all of a sudden you get one person who watches 2 or 3 shorts from the same episode and they're just like, fuck, I want to watch this episode now. Well, here it is. So doing the video, I think, is going to be great twofold, because then when you actually watch it as a full episode, it draws you in more.
But you're getting those views a lot quicker because people.
Well, but yeah, like you said, having the short videos, you get a hell of a lot more hits, and that's the thing, dude. If we get 2,400 hits on a 1-minute video, and all of them watched for that 1 minute, you just got 2,400 minutes of watch time.
Chances are you could probably release close to a half dozen shorts on each video that we run.
I mean, I would say at least like 3 to 4. You know what I mean? Because there's times, that's what I'm on the average, I would say at least 3 to 4 would be a given within an hour. It's like, because I mean, if you have an 8-minute conversation and then like a 10-minute and then like a 4-minute, I mean, you add 3 or 4 of those up, it's already a half hour. It's only an hour show. That's what I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure we can get at least 3 or 4, clips or shorts out of each conversation that's just super dope and would probably get way more freaking hits. It's like, hey, just 5 minutes done. Let me see that shit. So that's what I'm aiming for at this point.
And I'm excited for my own reasons to talk to Larry today, but of course the other part of that is we get to put his name in our.
Oh, fucking A, right. Dude, honestly.
And that alone may, if somebody's, dude, who's this Larry Hankin? And they look it up and they find us, who knows?
Oh, yeah, no shit. But yeah, no, my bigger thing was as soon as I found out and was like good to go, I hit up the kid, was just like, yo, guess who daddy's interviewing? You sent the picture and like, the name and all this stuff. And she's like, oh my God. Ah! Like she freaked. Well, because I mean, she's named after freaking, the Rachel's baby. So it's like, she is a friend's baby. I mean, she owns the entire set. She's watched every episode in order. I couldn't even tell you how many times. Probably at least 5 or 6. I mean, literally from first season to 10th season, episode 1 to 253 or whatever the hell it is. Just boom, 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 just banging them out. Like she is into that show. So yeah, I was amped to tell my kid. I was just like, check it out. What's up?
What's with all the bananas? Potassium.
I had potassium. Dude,
I got to watch all of his bits in that too.
Dude, that'll be a good question for him. Be like, do you really like potassium? Or, I mean, is that just is that like
It's a good source of potassium. Sometimes too good.
Actually, the peel has most of the potassium, believe it or not, which makes banana peels great for compost because you get a nice potassium source.
That's good. See, you learn all kinds of stuff on this show.
Hey, I mean, because you know me, dude. I'm into the food forest, self-sustaining kind of an idea. I mean,
he's kind of a botanical cat.
Yeah, I mean, for people in I'm telling you watching, will be able to see in the background like my mass collection of plants. Like, dude, I've talked about my aquaponics for 2 fucking years. Now they'll actually be able to see it and shit.
There's like a child-sized swimming pool. Basically,
dude, that's an accurate statement.
It is. It's a child-sized swimming pool.
What's 150-gallon stock
in your
tank.
living space
in the green room, technically,
with a botanical garden growing on top of it, and technically in it. It's that whole area.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like an ecosystem all to itself.
I have peace lily. I have a Hawaiian tea plant.
Something nobody can see.
Yeah, I got golden pothos. I have anthurium. Like, that's all just in the one system. But then, yeah, I have 2 more systems next to them because I got my breeding tank and my holding tank for my mud guppies, because I breed guppies to feed to my other fish. Because I have Asian ornamentals, like I got Shibukins.
Shibukin.
Yeah, which are miniature koi. And then, yeah, I got a couple of Orandas.
Oranda panda?
No, the Oranda panda, unfortunately, was sick and did not make it. Yeah, that's... I've had a few fish die in the past couple of years, and that was one of my saddest ones. But, you know, hey, the rest are doing amazing. I mean, sometimes that happens. Like, you can pay attention as much as you want, but with fish, usually by the time you really notice something's wrong, it's almost too late already. Like, it's just, it sucks. Like, you have to be watching them like 24/7 to look for any kind of inconsistency.
I haven't killed my goldfish yet.
Dude, that is impressive, bro. I'll be honest. Well, yeah, I told you, man, you got to get some of these other plants and stuff in there, because that helps, you know, detoxify the water.
When you're ready and you're like overflowing, just take a couple clippings over to my place, and then we can.
Dude, I'll give you like a whole fucking bunch, literal. Here you go, bro.
Because I don't know, but anyway, I've been better at. I only took the plants out the other day and the skull, just to wash them off. But I didn't clean out all the rocks and take out all the water again. So I've been changing the water more frequently. So hopefully that's going to be better for the fish. Because honestly, last couple times I had fish, I killed them within like a week. I don't know, it's something like that. A couple days. And those are beta fish, which are surprisingly hard to kill. Well, for everyone else, but it's me and fish just don't. But they want my kids want them at a carnival. So what are you going to do? It's my job to keep them alive. So it's also my job to keep talking on the microphone because, there we go.
You shut the fuck up. I heard every bit of that, you little bitch. Yeah, fucking beta fish are supposedly difficult to kill, but I don't think so. I mean, why else would they sell so many? Because people fucking kill them all the time.
Well, I do. Anyway, I'm the fish
same thing
killer.
with like houseplants. Houseplants are supposed to be like the easiest plants to care for, and they just reproduce like crazy. Yet we still sell a shit ton of them. It's like, are you not watering them? Do you not feed them? I mean, not giving them. How are you still killing these supposedly unkillable plants? The fuck, people. Get your shit together.
Need to have plastic plants.
Fuck a plastic plant.
But, I agree. But no, yours are still going good. And I water them like maybe twice a week.
Well, that's the thing is, with a proper pot size for your plant, it should be every week or two you should be watering it. That at that point it indicates that it's large enough that it's retaining enough moisture that it's.
I'm afraid to repot them. I don't want to touch them. I might need help with that. Dude, finding the right kind of, because at some point they're going to start pulling themselves off to the ground because they're getting so large.
Well, so here's the cool thing with pothos. It will root like so crazy. So usually if you get a super long strand and you don't want to trim it, you pull it back up, spiral it into the top of the pot, throw a little bit of soil on top of the vine part of it, and it will root back in and just make the overall root ball denser as well as the foliage denser. So now you get rid of that leg that's hanging, and now it's just a part of the inside.
So just kind of wrap it back around.
Yeah, I'll show you on break because that's what I did with the one.
So you just loop it back on itself and kind of...
More or less, yeah. But you want to make sure you bury some of it because you want that to start to sense...
Take root.
Yeah. Well, because you want it to sense the moisture level. And that's the thing is the plant, as you start to get that level of moisture... Yeah, I said moisture.
Moist.
If you get that level of moisture, it starts to go, oh, you know what? I can root here, and it wants to do that instead. I mean, plants always want to build usually as much of a root structure as possible because, that's where the nutrients are truly coming from.
Yes.
Yeah, their job is to make shit tons of dope roots. Mycelium.
It's all about kittens.
What?
That's my word.
That's
my word, mycelium.
You got a special bond with this word?
I do.
Are you king of the forest?
I am. This is my bush.
Are you queen of the dictionary?
This is totally my bush. So for anybody that just joined.
Larry fucking Hankin's going to be on shortly.
I know. That's so awesome.
Dude, we are fucking doing it, bro. We had Mark Scheffler on.
We've been doing it, but I'm just saying this is a whole new avenue.
Oh, yeah.
And
with video, it's an electric avenue.
I'm not going to think too far into it, but I can't be anything but excited because...
Is that what I felt?
Yeah. Sorry.
Just saying, bro.
Sorry about that.
Just saying. Put it away. Oh my god. It's got its own zip code. Did it wink at me?
It does that.
It has a mind of its own.
I don't.
Hey, you can't just go sticking that anywhere you want. Oh, it's got a mind of its own.
I'm just life support for this guy.
That's fucking funny. But yeah, Larry fucking Hankin, bro. Dude, bro. Don't even know, bro.
But it's a stepping stone, right? I mean, because that's, going to lead to some other stuff.
Well, yeah, because we had Mark Scheffler on. He was dope as shit. I like that. And then, like you said last night, we had Tid on. He was dope as fuck. Like, that was a great conversation. You're like, yeah, Tiddy. No, Tid.
I'm a jackass. I'm sorry, Tid.
Yeah, he gets it right 73%
Or can I just say
of the
Christian?
time.
I'll just say
Hey!
not that Christian.
Pretty much. But yeah, no, it was dope. And then, yeah, Larry Hankin's going to be on in a hot minute. We have, like I said, Dakota Harris is next week. And then we got Artie Hoffman.
Dude, that's going to be bomb.
Because, dude, he's like insanely accurate with his psychic ability. And here's the deal. The fact that he's going to be live in studio with us for Green Room. And I'm telling you, shit is going to get weird. It's going to be fucking dope. Like, you have no idea how amped I am to have a fucking dope-ass psychic in the building.
I'm kind of nervous about it. I don't know.
And I was like, what is he going to do? Like, dude, don't say anything about January. You'd be like, wait, what? I'm like, no, don't even look into that. Just ignore it. Forget I said that.
Never know. Like, what are we going to talk about? I don't want to. And like you said, what are the two things you can't ask is like the winner of a future sports game or the day I'm going to die or something like that. And I'm like, I don't want the answer of either of those.
Yeah, I know.
That is way too much pressure.
Well, it's not even that, but it's just like, who gives a fuck?
I'd rather talk politics and religion.
Yeah.
Honestly.
To at that point. But from, a psychic's perspective, be like, what is the Capricorn sun rising for? It's like, well, you have to understand that when Mercury's in retrograde. But I don't think he's
not astrological. This is all.
I believe he's more of like medium
spirit guide. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some kind of spirit guide thing. That's the impression that I got.
Well, and I mean, he could just be like a really dope empath where just like, where I have that movie screen in my mind, he does too, but he's just more in tune to it. So his body can give him more information that he's aware of.
The only weird thing about it for me, and I only watched like part of one video, so forgive me for that. But the only weird thing about it was that he considers it a performance. So, I mean, I guess in a way there's a performance aspect to it because you're out in a crowd of people. Like he'll do like an entire, the video I was watching was him doing an entire room, basically.
Yeah, he does that quite often, apparently.
But just, there was a carnival-esque feel to that kind of took away from it for me. So I'm excited and a little bit nervous to meet him for just the reasons, assuming that he has contact with.
Well, and so again, the thing that I'm to understand is he's so almost consistently accurate that it's like, dude, there's more than coincidence going on here, as well as, yeah, like what you're saying, he sees this as his performance. Like he's like, hey, I got this gift, let's fucking ham it up and have a good time with it.
Like, bro, are we gonna make money at this one day? And like, I mean, that's what I want to know. Like, I don't need to know how much. I don't need to know, like, I don't want to know when I'm going to die.
Why is it always about money with you? I don't, you know what? That's it. I'm done.
Because I'm
out of here. No, it's time for us to go now, Mac.
Well, it is.
I know. It
honestly.
is time.
It is time
to go now.
You can use the same joke every time.
Mac.
Well, maybe you can.
Stinks like sex in here.
That's
because it winked at me. Dude, see what I did there? I brought it back around. But yeah, no, take us out, number 2. Oh. Who does number 2 work for? That's right, buddy. You tell that turd who's boss.
This is in usual form. This has been another awesome green room, and we're really excited for the guy coming up next. So definitely, if you want to check that.
Hey, just as we're closing out, JD pops in.
Well, we're closing green room, so
yeah, we're closing. We're literally giving salutations. We were just like wrapping up.
Hey! Yeah, like Norm from Cheers.
Pretty much. JD! All right, well then I guess just say hi and bye because we're out of here. But
so yeah, this has been another green room. If you want to reach out to us, hit us up at ity@directionsandmusic.org if you want to get all of us. If you want to get us individually, hit me up at GEMINI@directionsandmusic.org.
Bleep, blorp, bleep.
Or you can hit up
Philly D, PHILLY
D
at directionsandmusic.org. But yeah, as always, fam, this is Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack a back check on the CD.
Yeah, I know. As always, fam, be good to yourself, be good to everything else.
Everything else.
Yeah, I've changed
Much
it,
love.
bro. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.